right, guys, welcome back to My Pop Sports. This is Grandy. If this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for checking out the channel, checking out this video. You guys are returning. Welcome back, guys. Hopefully everybody had a great weekend. Sorry, obviously I was super busy, didn't get a chance to record, but I was at the Denver Card Show up there in North Glen. So super fun time. I'll do a quick recap of it and just my thoughts, what was selling, what my thoughts are of the show, what's going to happen in the coming future for 2025 there. It's going to be, it's a lot of anticipation. So, all right, guys. Let's jump into it. So this is the first card show of 2025 for me, in-person card show. I had 2 tables there at that location, and it was probably foot traffic-wise the biggest one I've ever been a part of in Denver, at least, for the Denver area. It was a 3-day card show, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And it was probably the most amount of traffic, foot traffic, most amount of people I've seen at a 3-day card show here. The most amount I've ever seen in regards to, the beginning of the year and everything. Because usually it's hit or miss. And then obviously being on Super Bowl weekend, my expectations for the card show, I'll be upfront and honest, I thought it was going to be shit. I didn't think people were going to show up because of Super Bowl, especially on Sunday. I was 1,000,000% incorrect, guys. Sunday was super busy. Saturday was a zoo. I didn't even get a chance to eat lunch. I got a chance to run to the bathroom. This is the thing. When you do card shows as a one person band, setting up, tearing down, and then selling, and then negotiating, buying, all that stuff, trading, it's a drain. It's really difficult. I highly recommend if you can get 2 people, it'd be ideal. But obviously I only have 1 person. Shout out to my daughter though, my middle child, Scotty. She came and helped me on Sunday. Thank God. I was actually able to go grab us some lunch and go to the restroom and stuff. So it does help even having a little bit of a help. So just a heads up on that. If you ever do a card show, I understand 1 person is most of the time, but for a 3-day card show, I highly recommend if you can try to grab another person if possible. Other than that, let's get into the what was working, what was selling, what people were more interested in, at least from my experience from the in regards to sports cards, and then I'll get into the what's coming up for the Denver Card Show in the 2025 and the rest of the year. So, number 1, the biggest sport that I felt like sold the most. This is not just for me. This is for me and several the vendors next to me and around me. The most that seemed like people were more interested in was football. I think obviously being the Super Bowl weekend probably had something to do with that. However, this is the funny thing is I probably sold 1 Kansas City Chiefs card, and I sold maybe 1 or 2, I want to say, Philadelphia Eagles cards. So the crazy thing was, you would have thought Eagles Chiefs in the Super Bowl game, people are going to be looking for those types of cards. They actually were not. People were just into just football in general. Jane Daniels was somewhat hot. I figured they would be more interested in that, but in reality, it was just football in general. Everything from star running backs to wide receivers. It was just a mixed bag of mostly football. I felt like I did move some basketball. Don't get me wrong, moved some basketball. Didn't move as much as I thought I would of that. I did move a few baseball. I felt like baseball was more of just a few athletes I felt like moved decently. Obviously, Paul Skeens, and to me, Ken Griffey Jr. That one moved the most for me. Other than that, it was primarily football, guys. So January, who would have thought? February, who would have thought? But I guess with the Super Bowl, football was still, on people's minds, which is interesting to see. Basketball was okay. We'll see here. I'll be at the Iowa Card Show next month, so we'll see what changes. I'll let you guys know if the Midwest is different from, Colorado and Denver area. I felt like another thing, graded cards and raw cards were about 50-50. I want to say my inventory was 50-50, guys. It was 50-50 of graded cards, 50-50 of raw cards. I had some dollar boxes that did very well. And then, like I said, I definitely feel like grading demand it's still there, but at least in the Denver area, I felt like higher end stuff. So when I say higher end stuff, anything that was above like $200 to $300 for slabs, I felt like they did not move as well. I don't know if it's because of the economy, all that stuff. Who knows? If people are just kind of being a little tight. I felt like people who were buying the cars were more collectors than anything. I didn't really have to negotiate too much. But then again, I do price my stuff according to comps and actually a little bit below, so it's aggressive pricing. So I was able to move quite a bit of stuff, not having to, cut my arm and leg off in regards to profit margin wise, or at least according to the comps. But like I said, I felt like the demand for slabs, at least high end stuff, was very limited. I may have sold maybe a handful of cars that was $200 or more. I felt like the niche, or at least where people were willing to spend, was anything between the $10 to about $40 range. People were snagging up. So there you guys go. All that super high end stuff didn't move as well. I have a feeling because I was just talking to my vendor next to me. He was like, could be just the Denver location. Who knows? But he says, the Phoenix and also the Las Vegas shows or LA shows, money's usually not an issue, especially for high-end stuff. So go figure. We'll see. I'll be in the show again coming up in April, so I'll let you know on that in the Denver area. Another thing I did notice was, like I said, raw cards was moving actually quite well. A lot of raw stuff. People weren't as picky in regards to the card. They just wanted the card itself. So I definitely felt like raw cards was moving quite well. Super liquid. Don't know if it's a price point or whatever, but even some of my raw cards that were in the $60 to I had $75 range, some certain raw cards and stuff, they still move pretty well. So I'm saying a lot of the raw cards were moving pretty decently. I definitely felt like in regards to that. Other than that, it was a great show. I felt like the number of sales, I would definitely say was good. Wasn't super great because I felt like the last show I did a lot higher numbers. But then again, I felt like this show around was more of collectors buying specific cards or what they wanted. Last show, I felt like it was more vendors buying from vendors to, restock their stuff, for me at least. And then just people buying huge bulk to flip. They were buying from me, multiple lots to go ahead and flip, whether on Whatnot, eBay, whatever they were looking to do. So I definitely gave them good pricing. But this time around, I felt like it was more of collectors I was purchasing. I didn't feel the pressure of somebody coming in to buy a 10, 20 cart, slab lot and trying to negotiate it down. So I didn't feel that as much. I felt like it was super enthusiastic people, and this is the thing, tons of kids. This might have been the most amount of kids I've seen at a card show here in the Denver area, which is a great thing to see. I really was super excited to speak with these kids and talk to them and help educate them about sports cards, the industry, the hobby, and everything. So that was super fun to me, and I really do appreciate that time I get to, spend with people. And people always come up to me and ask me, and I want them to come up and ask me if you have questions about the industry cards, especially if you're just getting into it, your kids are into it, or you're returning to it after, 30 years, whatever. I love helping them and wanting them to stay in the hobby and enjoy it. And I'm there hopefully to give as much knowledge as I can. So there you guys go on that end. Other than that, like I said, great show. Can't wait for the next one in April. So if you are in the Denver area, or not even in the Denver area, you're thinking about it, I highly recommend 2025 you guys come check it out. So the show itself, Denver Card Show, is expanding enormously. I talked to John, the promoter. Shout out to you, John, and Mark out there. So they have told me there's over like 140 some vendors wait list. So we can't currently, this location, they couldn't expand. It was completely packed. Like people could barely walk this weekend. So to, open it up to more vendors, more tables. We already have over 200 some, tables here. They're moving it to another location here in the Denver area. It's going to be more closer to the downtown Denver, obviously on that end. And they're going to be able to open up to about 30 or 40 more tables, which is great. So for the April and I believe the June show, they're going to be opening it up. So if you're on the wait list, stay tuned. Hopefully they'll reach out to you guys, just an FYI on that, and they'll be going to expand that. Then I spoke to them this at the end of the year. I really recommend people who are on the West Coast, Central, Midwest, wherever, come check out this show. It's not only going to be one of the biggest, it will be one of the biggest, because I feel like they're going in the right path. So hopefully either at the end of 2025 or beginning of 2026, they're telling me there's a new property that they're looking into, and hopefully by the end of this year, if they get into it, there's a possibility to have over 400 to 700 tables, guys. It's going to be enormous. Close. It's going to be comparable to the Dallas show and everything. Stay tuned to it, guys. I'm telling you, if you're not from this area, I would come check it out. There's tons and tons of inventory, all kinds of cards, high end, low end, mids, anything you want. So I'd highly recommend it. So come check it out if you don't believe me, but it should be super cool. This time around they had SGC. I'm assuming if it gets to that level, huge enough, PSA SGC will definitely be a part of this. So something for you guys to think about in the future on that. So other than that, I did really well. I did what I wanted to do in regards to numbers wise. Remember, my thoughts is whatever you pay, expenses for the tables, your time, your meals, your gas and everything. Make sure at least whatever you spend, you need to account that as 10% what your sales should be revenue wise. At least that's what I usually put myself. So I reached that threshold, so that's a good thing. I'll be at the Iowa Card Show next month. Stay tuned to that, guys. I can't wait. I'll let you guys know how that goes. I'll be there in the Midwest, so if you guys are around, swing by. That's also a 3-day card show, probably one of the biggest, if not I would definitely say one of the biggest in the Midwest. So make sure you guys stop by, check that out in the Des Moines, Iowa area. I think it's March 28th weekend, whatever that weekend is. So 3-day card show on that. I'll be there. Other than that, stay tuned. I think tomorrow I'm going to do a Q&A. I had a lot of questions I need to answer, so I didn't get a chance to do the Q&A last week. So I'll do a Q&A of everybody's DMing me, commenting, all that good stuff. So stay tuned to that. I'll explain to you guys, at least from my experience, of my answers and stuff like that. So this week, I am back to reorganizing my inventory and listing, guys. So check out my eBay store. Links in the description. Hopefully by the end of this week, store number 2 will be up and running. So I'll let you guys know as soon as that happens. But yeah, make sure eBay store, make sure make any offers if you guys want. I'll counter that. And then on top of that, Whatnot, I'll see if I can do a show this weekend. I'm going to be super busy because I need to adjust some of my inventory and reorganize certain things, and also just continuous listing. So if I can get on Whatnot, I will. If not, we'll see. Not going to be heartbroken on that end, but make sure you guys do follow me on Whatnot too. I'm going to try and do one show a week if I can, but hopefully if I can this week or next week on that end. So other than that, till next time, have a good rest of the week, guys. Oh, how about them Hawks? CB1, baby, CB1. You got to give a shout out to the Eagles, for winning the Super Bowl. But the biggest thing was Cooper DeJean, guys. If you guys don't know that cat, go check him out. He was one of the best stars of Iowa's defense the past several years before he obviously came to the NFL and drafted by the Eagles. So if you guys were not surprised or are surprised or don't know anything about Cooper, go look at his Iowa Hawkeye highlights. Homie was a stud, man. He was a beast, and shout out to him on his 22nd birthday, pick 6 on Patrick Mahomes, of all people, right, guys? So huge shout out to him. Go Hawks, baby. CB1. He's not a safety. Go check out that song. Until next time, have a good one, guys.